Welcome to Last Call, where we have drinks and we talk about stuff.
Clink.
Yeah. Oh, this better be good. Joining us, joining us is Mike, our resident rules lawyer, because we're gonna talk about rules.
And my brother. Because some people don't know that. Like we were talking to, I think it was Tim, before the session on Saturday, and he was like, "Mike's your brother?"
Which is kind of weird considering how many people thought we were fucking twins when we were kids.
Well, it was funny because he went back and watched some episodes, or like an episode of Dungeons of the Mad Mage, and he's like, "Oh no, yeah, I see it."
You have to you have to look at very like specific parts of your face to get that you're related. Yeah. I think it's mostly eyes.
Anyway, what are we talking about today?
He doesn't have your green hair.
We're just talking about genetics.
We're talking about Can you imagine? No, we're gonna talk about rules and.
So when an elf finds a human,
I was trying to come up with a joke.
It makes a halfling.
This is most likely going to be a multiple-part series.
Which is why the title's Part 1.
Samus, why?
Samus, why do you only pick squeaky toys?
I love you.
Part 1 of 1.
Part 1 of 1. That'd be really funny.
I think we're going to start with combat, which is the majority of it. So we're going to talk about combat in general as a whole and like what its purpose is. We're going to talk about initiative. And then we're going to talk about spellcasting, and we'll see how far we get with that.
Like 4 hours.
Yeah. Like
are we gonna fit surprise in there somewhere?
Yes. Yeah, that goes in initiative.
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought of a good analogy about that, so we'll get to that.
Oh, did you? Okay, save it. Put it in the vault.
We're actually prepared for once. It's not, hey, Mike, this is the topic. Just show up and we'll talk.
There were some really heated things in Discord earlier, too.
Yeah, there were.
So, like...
Fucking... What's his face? He's a fucking idiot.
Who?
Crawford.
That guy.
I had an idea that we would just go through Crawford's tweets.
Just scroll through Sage Advice.
Tell me if you want to see that. Like, I will literally go through his Twitter and find all the rules lawyering ones.
No, we just scroll through Sage Advice. It's a dude who retweets all of Crawford's tweets about rules.
That's not the only thing on Sage Advice, though, is it?
It's most of it.
There's still sorting that needs to be done. Yeet!
Yeet. The phone has been yote.
So if you like that idea, stay tuned. Maybe I'll throw in the effort to do that.
Yote. It's been yote. It's fine.
Jotun.
Jotun sounds stupid. Combat.
Combat.
What's its purpose?
Why do we have combat?
Yeah.
Because...
Why?
Well, as a DM, why do we have combat? To drain the party's resources.
Okay. As a narrative.
To drain their resources, so what, later combat is more difficult?
Oh, someone did
Someone bought a thing!
Neat.
Andy bought a sticker!
You bought a sticker! Thanks, dude!
Andy. Probably
the stickers are cool. Oh, wait. Hang on. Wait. Yeah.
Yeah. We got a sticker. So, to drain the resources for... Was that another purchase?
Yeah, it was another one.
Andy bought a pillow!
Oh, the pillow!
Andy bought a pillow!
The pillows are nice, bro.
Pillows are nice. We would hold that one up, but it's on the other side of the other room.
Oh, I'll get it. Keep talking.
That's fine.
It's Sam's to get it.
Yeah, Sam's fetch. So you're... Oh my god, more things! Andy bought a t-shirt!
Andy, you're cleaning house!
Did you buy one thing and then we got 3... Or did you make one purchase of 3 things, we got 3 notifications?
Now you bought 3 separate things just to get it.
He just did 3 separate orders.
These pillows are huge. Like, they're way bigger than the size says.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, holy shit, that's fucking big.
And that's the middle size. There's a bigger size on the site.
But it's still not to scale with an actual troll skull.
It's not. I don't think we're getting there.
Oh, wait.
I don't know, that skull's pretty fucking
It's
huge.
pretty big.
Trolls are fucking...
They're large.
They're large, yeah, so...
Yeah, they're like 8-9 feet tall. So maybe?
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. That's really cool. I hope one purchase of 3 things, and we got 3 notifications for it. That's weird.
That's useful.
Good to know.
So when somebody buys one of everything,
yeah,
fucking 20 notifications in a row.
Yeah. Here, let me just buy 20 shirts.
Oh my god.
They take a while to ship, but the quality of everything is good so far.
The pillows are astoundingly high quality. Like, it's a really thick canvas. The zipper's hidden. The tag's hidden.
Alright, combat.
Anyway, combat. So you drain the party's resources for the climactic encounter, which may or may not be combat.
Mm-hmm.
so narratively, there's a power fantasy that goes along with playing a role-playing game. You want to be someone who's better than you are, because why would you want to play someone who's worse than you are?
Why would I want to be me?
Yeah. So the most visceral way to express being more powerful is to murder the shit out of people. So that's why we have combat. I don't know that there really is more to it than that. And we have all of these rules that govern how combat works and what your limitations are. The rules essentially say, you cannot, you cannot, you cannot. And then all of the class features say, you can. I think it's actually explained in the book as, like, class and racial features they're written in such a way that it's like, you're breaking the rules in a tiny way that's totally okay for you.
I mean, that's just specific beats general in
Right.
a nutshell.
Right. I think it's actually in the specific beats general section that's like, you can't do this generally unless you have a specific rule that says you can.
Okay, I was just about to say, how about explain specific beats general, but you just fucking did.
Yeah, I mean, so specific beats general is generally there are rules that govern how the game works. Specifically, there are rules that govern how the game works in specific circumstances. So generally, you can't cast a spell as a bonus action, but specifically, some spells have a cast time of 1 bonus action. Generally, you can't attack more than once per turn, but specifically, the extra attack feature allows you to.
In a game that's so open-ended, it really does need to be structured like that.
I mean, there are some really... I think the 2 rules that make the game tick are specific beats general and everything's a fucking d20. If there's a chance of failure, roll a d20, add a modifier. Compare it to some... I was trying to get away with not saying DC. Compare it to some threshold.
Some difficulty challenge.
Difficulty class, actually.
Oh, damn it.
I mean, it's like armor class.
What's your Thaco, though?
Every single action that you can take in the game is governed by one of 3 things: an attack roll, a saving throw, or an ability check. Those are the only things that you're ever rolling for, other than, like, damage or... Generally, those are the only 3 things you're rolling for. Specifically, you can roll for damage, you can roll for, like, the chance of failure for teleport. Or, Samus, why do you only go for squeakers while we're streaming?
She wants to be noticed. Come here.
Like, she never touches the squeakers unless we're streaming.
Yes.
But yeah, like, those are the 2 rules that make the game tick. Combat is something like 90% of all the rules. Roleplay is like 1% of the rules, and then exploration is the other 9%. Which I think isn't super problematic. I think we could do with a little bit more in the way of exploration, but I'm totally happy with the amount of rules that govern roleplay. Because the fewer rules there are, the more freedom you have.
Right.
Or sorry, the more rules there are, the less freedom you have.
Oh, that's how I understood it anyway.
Oh jeez, I have the alert box underneath the chat.
Mike bought a room!
Mike bought a room!
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
I
Welcome
tried
to
to use the Samus emote, and I saw that it was locked. I was like, oh shit, right.
Welcome to the gifted sub. Oh, Mike didn't see that joke.
No. So we've been gifting sub for sub.
Yeah. We've been matching gift subs.
Yeah, for the past 2 session ones, and he was saying it so often to thank people. He said, "Welcome to the gifted sub."
And then, like, 2 minutes later, someone pointed out in chat, and I'm like, "Did I say that?"
And then he kept saying.
And then I kept saying it on purpose.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That was funny.
But yeah, so 90% of the rules govern combat, which is why 90% of our conversation about rules is going to be combat. But what is the purpose of combat? It's the game. So we, in role-playing games, what we're doing is we're to me, the point of a role-playing game is to tell a story together. And a lot of different people play the game for a lot of different reasons. There's, your power gamers who want to win the game, not a problem.
You're doing it for socialization, just something to do with friends.
Right.
That's also a
there's people who just want to hang out, just, be around people. There's people who are really into the story. There are people who are really happy about just being able to hold very pretty dice and see really well-painted minis. There's a dozen different reasons to want to play D&D, but for me, it's to tell a story together. The combat is there to make it a game rather than a novel. We could just sit around a table and just be like, oh yeah, wouldn't it be cool if like this happened? And then we all go, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. That's not a game. That's just, we're all working together to tell a story, but it's not a game. So we want to tell a story, but we also want to play a game. So in the interest of not being, no, I got you a laser. No, I have a laser-proof shield. We have rules that tell us what everyone's allowed to do and what everyone isn't allowed to do.
Yeah, it's easily the most structured part of a game.
Right. It is by far the most structured part
And some people are very...
Because it's the most adversarial part of the game. If you have rules, then you can resolve conflict in a way that everyone is satisfied. That's the point of combat.
I don't know about satisfied, but everybody can agree with it, at least.
Yes. Yeah. That's probably a better way to say it.
Until you fuck with the rules and then the power gamers leave.
I mean, that's... Yeah. Or the power gamers stay because you've made the rules very, very power gamer friendly.
Good transition. When do you break rules and when do you fudge dice?
That's a good question. Breaking rules I do very, very, very infrequently. I don't like to break rules because, just like we were saying, like, if you can just do whatever the fuck you want, then everyone's like, why even have rules?
Yeah.
Not even that, but just like the sense of consistency just goes out the window. It's like, I expect to fucking jump up and not teleport to the fucking Astral Sea.
Yeah.
Why'd I teleport to the Astral Sea? What the fuck?
But like, if a monster can do things that players can't, it's just like, what the fuck? That guy gets 3 actions per turn? What is this horse shit?
That's not even fair.
Where's my double action surge?
Right. So breaking rules I do very, very infrequently, as infrequently as possible. And if I do break rules, I try to do it very subtly so that nobody notices.
Your poker face has gotten much better over the years.
I've been DMing for 11 years.
A good reason, though, to break the rules is for the rule of cool.
Yes.
Yeah, so rule 1, everything's a d20. Rule 2, blah, we don't care about the rest of them. Rule 0 is the rule of cool.
No, rule 0 is listen to the DM.
Okay, rule
The DM
-1
is
is rule
always
of cool.
The DM is always right.
Array out of bounds. Fuck. You can't go before 0. It's fine. Yeah. So rule of cool is a really good reason to break the rules. A common example that people bring up when they're talking about like, oh, you have to make things make sense is I try to jump to the moon. You're like, okay, make an athletics check, and then they roll a 7. It's like, or no, like they roll a nat 20, and they have plus 13 athletics, and they got 33, and you're like, okay, cool, you jumped like 17 feet off the ground or whatever. What the fuck? Why didn't I jump to the moon? I rolled a nat 20. Because
why?
That's not how that works. So you break rules when things would be cool, but not when they'd be stupid. So
it has to make sense within the context of what's happening. What setting are you in? What are you actually capable of?
Yeah. I mean, if you're on a planet that has microgravity and you want to jump to that planet's moon, I mean, I guess that's technically possible.
Make things make sense. Fuck you, it's magic.
I mean, magic does kind of throw things out the window sometimes. But if your magic system has its own rules, then you have to abide by those rules.
Yeah.
You can't just say, oh yeah, like this apprentice wizard cast teleport. Like, that's a 7th level fucking spell. Excuse me?
Real Bengal Tiger actually brought up the rules. Wait, shit! It just went off screen. Goddamn
rules
shadows.
Are to facilitate.
The goal of the game is to have fun.
Yeah, right.
We didn't bring that up yet. Like, I think it's universal at every table.
Well, I mean, I brought up the different kinds of ways that people do have fun.
I mean, I feel like that's universal for every game. If you're playing a game, you're trying to have fun. If you're not having fun, why are you playing the game?
And everyone has fun.
Everyone has fun
different
differently.
ways.
Yeah.
But everyone at the table still needs to be having fun, so the rules need to help facilitate that.
Right.
That's a good point.
Shadows brings up a really interesting topic. I don't know if he did it on purpose. He asks hard or soft magic, and that brings to my mind Sanderson's first rule of magic.
What's that?
Which is that the more well-defined, and I'm probably butchering it, but the more well-defined your magic system is, the better you can use it to serve the narrative.
Yeah.
So if you have like a wibbly wobbly, like fuck it, I can just do whatever I need to at any time kind of magic, using that kind of magic to solve problems in your narrative feels really bad. If you can just solve whatever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want, why, from whence conflict? Like,
you just wave your wand and cast your Deus Ex Machina spell.
Exactly.
Like every modern movie today.
Yeah. I don't know if, I think Deus Ex Machina is actually less of a problem in modern movies. I think that was like a really big thing in like the 90s and early 2000s. But yeah, like if you have very well defined magic, then it doesn't feel cheap to solve problems with that magic.
Right. When do you make decisions to change stat blocks? And are you ever concerned with someone, a player who knows that stat block, feeling cheated out of the change that you made?
I would say that personally, infrequently. I would probably like freezing ice on the portcullis. That was actually really cool. So in our Curse of Strahd game this past Sunday, there was a portcullis that they lifted up into the ceiling, and as far as they could tell, it was going to stay there. But Jordan decided to shape water up to it and then freeze it with shape water again, just to keep the portcullis in the ceiling. And then they triggered the boss fight, and the portcullis, the winch started spinning really fast, like, hey, it's gonna drop the portcullis, and the portcullis just sort of groaned against the ice. So D&D has a very well-defined magic system. This spell does what it says and nothing more, is generally the wisdom around 5e magic. Shape water can make ice. It doesn't say it'll block a portcullis from falling, but ice behaves like ice behaves, and that's not magic.
A lot of or maybe only one place, but a lot of the thing is there is a lot of ambiguity, and when that ambiguity occurs, use common sense, use English definitions, use just think logically. Don't need the rules to hold your hand.
Yeah. And I think that's actually something that they didn't put in the books, and they very much should have. If there's no rule governing what a word means, it has its common English definition.
I feel like they messed up a little bit with that.
Which can get them in hot water because English definitions are mutable.
Right.
But there should have been a couple more keywords, I feel.
Yeah, so I think there was an aversion to keywords because 4e was everything keywords.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the same problem, the exact opposite direction.
Yeah, exactly. They defined so many terms that if it wasn't defined, it didn't do anything.
Yeah. Or if it was poorly defined, it didn't work properly.
Right.
Like there was one fucking level 30 warlock spell. It for some reason had the fear keyword, but it was just blast with starlight, and monsters that were immune to fear were immune to their fucking capstone ability for no reason.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
Also, yes, 4th edition went to level 30.
Doom of Delbon, I think that was.
Doom of Delbon? Really? I don't think that was
4e didn't
30.
exist, it's fine.
I just googled Doom of Delbon, and I got 5th edition update, Unearthed Arcana. Okay.
What?
Oh, it's a level 29 daily spell. Okay.
Alright, almost.
Daily spells.
Daily.
What a magical time. Is
I mean,
there
those are spells.
yeah. Is there anything inherently wrong with things being left open to interpretation though? Having rules, but being able to have some room to
Yes and no.
futz with them.
So
I was gonna say the same thing.
yeah. So no, it's not a problem because where there's ambiguity, there's flexibility to tell a story.
Right.
But yes, where there's ambiguity, there's room for a bad actor to abuse it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or even not just a bad actor to abuse it, just disagreements about what something
Yeah,
means.
that too.
And that, both people could have, good intentions, but, like, I think I should be able to jump that. No, you can't jump that. It becomes a meta adversarial, I guess, when
Yeah.
it shouldn't be.
Right.
Is there anything about coffee locks or cocaine locks that are
Okay, so
that work because of things
So-
not being defined?
yes, coffee lock works because of ambiguity in the long rest rules. If the long rest rules were properly
Fucking Mike.
defined,
You want to fucking go,
I
Steph?
don't have a problem.
It was great.
So
I thought it was awesome.
I don't have a problem with it if you have a player who knows how to rein it in, which Mike
He
did. He didn't throw out 2 fireballs every fucking turn of combat,
But
which he
you will-
very easily could have.
But you will have that player who's like, I built it this way so I could abuse it in every
But yeah, the
capacity.
only reason coffee lock works is because of ambiguity. But the problem is that ambiguity makes Aspect of the Moon, the Warlock invocation from Xanathar's Guide to Everything, either amazing and it fully enables coffee lock, or 100% worthless. And I'm not exaggerating. Literally does nothing, and there's no in between. Because all it says,
it's good for the fluff,
right?
and you can fucking keep watch all night or whatever.
Yeah, that's literally all it does.
Yeah.
But fucking elves trancing, warforged sentrying, a half dozen other fucking races that don't need to fucking sleep for whatever reason.
Right. You still need the long rest every night. You just don't have to sleep
Are
during
there
it.
really that many races that don't?
There's a bunch.
There's tons now.
Shit.
Elf,
Initially-
Elf and Warforged are the only ones that are coming to my
Yeah,
mind.
same.
I think Kalishtar, maybe? Because
what that
like
is.
the whole they're from Eberron. Their whole thing is they're basically humans,
They're
but with
very
spirits
pretty.
from the plane of dreams in them.
They're very pretty. I like
They're
that.
humans.
I had a catch.
You had an Asimar.
No.
You did
No, I
not. You've
haven't.
never played a
No, I think
Kalishtar.
it was for a one shot.
You've never played a
No, I
Kalishtar.
think you're wrong.
The
Shut
only
up.
Kalishtar I've ever DM'd was Faraday.
No, I'm gonna find it later. I'm gonna figure it out.
Okay.
Phantom Rogue doesn't need to eat, drink, sleep, or breathe.
Cool.
Yeah. Like that. Yeah.
Did that get published, or is that still UA? I think it's still UA.
Is it?
They had like Reborn Rogue, and then they changed it to Phantom Rogue or something.
All right, let me bring it back.
Yeah.
So, how do you make combat not a slog, and when do you deem it to be a route?
Woof. Routes are
And
hard.
is that fair to players who enjoy that aspect of combat?
Routes are difficult. So for
Have
those,
you routed combat in 5e?
I have once or twice, and
It was much more common when we played 4E.
Well, yeah, because
oh yeah. So generally the way that I would do a route, the few times that I've done it is, would you guys like this fight to end and you all lose 1 hit die?
Yes, please.
And, you know, at higher levels when you have 9 hit dice, it's not that bad. But at level 3, losing a hit die is a big deal. Like, you could use that to restore 1/3 of your hit points. That's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So usually players are willing to just take the gamble and spend another 30 minutes in combat to route it.
I think doing it at low levels is irresponsible.
Yeah. So so you guys are fighting. Neither of you.
Curse of Strahd.
Yeah, on Sunday in Curse of Strahd, it was a fight between the party and 5 shadows.
Woof.
And shadows are deadly.
Mhm.
Every time they hit you, they reduce your strength score by 1d4. No save, just if they hit, reduce your strength by 1d4. If your strength hits 0, you die.
damn.
So the 8 strength sorcerer the 8 strength druid,
That goes away.
and even the 14 strength fighter. He's a dex fighter.
Long or short to get rid of?
It's short to get rid of.
Okay.
But during the course of the fight, if they hit you 4 times and you only have 8 strength, you're just dead, regardless of how much healing.
Yeah.
But the players are absolutely annihilating these shadows. At the end of the first round of combat, they had killed 1 shadow, and the shadows had not landed a single hit.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the second round of combat, they'd killed 2 more shadows, and the shadows had landed like 2 hits. Oh, you have 13 strength. Oh, the druid has 13 strength. Good to know.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Good for you,
Gotta get that
Grants.
fighter multi-class next level.
Yeah, you can multi-class fighter. He dumped in. Got it.
Hey, you don't need
but-
to be smart unless
but-
you're a wizard.
The fight was dragging just because the shadows couldn't land a fucking hit. Like, I just kept rolling low, and like that's the thing that happens. But because of that, we spent 30, 45 minutes in a fight. Jesus, there he goes. That mechanically had very, very little impact on the players. So there was actually a point in that combat where I thought, I would like to route this. There's 2 shadows left. It's probably going to be another 2 rounds of combat to kill them because they're resistant to fucking everything.
You recently routed a fight in Avernus. I think that was the last time you did it. Those things were being thrown at us, and we were using just cantrips to get rid of them, and it was just fucking constant.
Yeah, so
you're like, who's having fun?
Yeah. So I set up a scenario in our Descent to Avernus where every it was going to take the players somewhere between 10 and 15 rounds to get out of range of a cannon firing at them. And the cannon was alternating between volleys of lemures and meteor swarms, essentially. Just tiny little, smaller meteor swarms.
I knew meteors.
Yeah, a little bigger. It was 6d6 bludgeoning and 6d6 fire. So every third round it was firing these meteors, but the rounds in between it was firing lemures. And what ended up happening is, at the start of the round, lemures would appear, 6 of them, and then by the end of the round, all of the lemures had died, and none of them had landed a hit, because they only have +2 to hit, and these were level, 9 PCs. Mm-hmm. So, after, 6 fucking volleys of lemures, I was like, fuck the lemures, we're just gonna do the meteors, what are you guys gonna do about those?
Oh, wait, that's Luke.
Hi, Luke.
Luke, join the call.
Yeah, just hop on the call.
Just hop on. You know the link. Hop on. I thought that was Shadows for a second, and I was like, Shadows has a question.
How
Now
do you
that's
feel about
Luke.
Wizards' choice to release players letting content? All-in-one books such as new Magic the Gathering stuff rather than pt.1, 2. Do you feel it gives the players a pre-notion of what they can do without... I'm so confused. What is Luke asking?
Luke has a tendency to run on sentences. Join the call! Watch, he popped in and just left. I'll just text him quick.
He just pops in, drops a question, and logs off.
I don't know what he's asking, so we're gonna keep going. Oh, here's a good question.
I feel like I haven't answered any of your questions yet. I just ramble for a while, and you're like, moving on.
No, you have answered them, and a lot.
I haven't
of them
answered
are...
when I fudge dice and when it's okay.
It's really when the situation calls for it. You let
Well,
that
when does the
dictate
situation call for it?
When there's stakes and when it's for story.
That's a super vague answer.
The rules are vague.
I fudge dice if I wanted the combat to be brutal or taxing or what's the word? I don't know. There should be narrative weight to the encounter, the combat, and then everything's just whiffing and it's turning into a laughing stock. So I'll fudge dice up. Similarly, if the fight was supposed to be really easy and it's just absolute fucking annihilation, I'll fudge dice down a little bit because that's just not fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, fudge dice when you're going to kill your entire level 1 party in the first round of the first combat, which I did.
Look, for the record, you're always invited to last call. We just don't ask you all the time.
It's not even...
No, I was about to make dinner though. That's the only reason I was like, I turned it on my ride home. So
It's not even you're invited. It's literally like your show and Mike's the guest.
No.
Like it's like the three of us and Mike is the
No,
guest.
it's you and me.
I literally
run the
have
show.
written in our YouTube description
Oh shit,
that
really?
it's Steph's the host, and then Ian's the DM and Luke's the player,
Well, it
and
should
that's
just be
the
the four of us all
perspectives.
the time.
I mean,
Honestly.
Mike doesn't always have like context, or not context, but like perspective on the topic we're talking about. You know what I mean?
Or relevance.
Or relevance,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
yeah,
What
What the
Mike,
fuck do
you're
I know
right.
about Avernus? Shut the
but
fuck up.
hi Luke, how you doing?
Hey.
I have a really good one for everyone. How do you handle arbitration at the table during combat and gameplay, and how do players feel about like small debates that happen to rules lawyer things?
So usually the way that I do it is I have a ridiculously good memory, so I can usually just remember the rule. Sometimes I remember it verbatim. Usually I remember the gist of it. Sometimes I remember where it is in a book.
And then you go, Mike.
Well, I mean,
and then Mike knows.
yes and no. So usually I can just pull up a relevant rule and be like, this is how it works, and then we move on. Sometimes I don't know. And in those cases, and this is the advice that I would give any DM, especially ones who don't have as strong a memory as me, you know, you can't remember every fucking rule off the top of your head. Make a ruling. Pick a decision that makes fun.
But how do players feel about that? If it's a quickly handled rule and you still have questions, and yes, it affects your turn or your hit or...
Well, a lot of the time we take a break from, if it's a big ruling like that, we'll take a break and then like we'll look up sage advice. Not that we always use sage advice. We'll look it up.
That's a topic for later.
Yeah.
We're gonna go through Crawford's tweets later. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we'll look up sage advice, and then at the end of the day, we'll use logic to just determine what we can do or what we can't do. And then at the end of the day, it also depends on your DM. Like, you might have a DM who likes to play player versus DM.
Yeah.
I've played with Ian for over 5 years now, and it's never seemed like he was against us. So as long as he makes a ruling, I trust his decision.
Yeah, and it really does come down to trust a lot of the time. If there isn't trust between the player and the DM, almost no matter what the DM says, the player's not going to like it unless it's exactly what the player was thinking it should be. Amber is exactly right. For now, this is how we're doing it, and I'll look up the official rule later. That's exactly what I would suggest. Make a decision based on what you can remember and what you think would be fun. And then later, between sessions, look it up, figure it out, post on RPG Stack Exchange if you have to, and then make a final ruling. I don't know why I said on. That was the end of the thought.
I end a lot of sentences with but. I noticed that while I was on the telephone earlier with someone. I'm like, what the fuck? Why am I just ending with a fucking
Yeah,
but?
that's a
I'm trying to do this thing, but...
dot.
Such an ass.
You're such a
Thank you,
fucking
thank
ass.
you, Jay.
Oh, my question.
I tried to
was,
say Jesse, and I saw Jay.
Oh, yeah, what the fuck was your question? Because we couldn't
My
read
question
it.
was, how do you feel about the release of content for both players, DMs, settings, and all that in one big mesh, like with all the MTG stuff, like that, the whole world setting, but also player options. So a player might look at the MTG setting and get the options from that, like the is it background or like spellcasting or magic items, and build a character with that information rather than releasing, hey, PHB1, this is the content the player has, PHB2, this is the content the player has. It's sort of splitting up what the players have access to and what the putting it all together instead of separating, you know what I mean?
I think
Yeah.
I had that in the form of a question.
I don't hate it, honestly. So if I were to actually run a campaign, okay, my laptop started buffering. I was worried that like we disconnected. If I were running a campaign in Eberron, I would not mind if I had players like read any part of the book other than like the adventure that's in it. I think there's an adventure in it, or the stat block, the monster stat blocks. I would actually absolutely fucking love if my players read about the world, because that's just that much less work I have to do to teach them about the world.
Mm-hmm.
I don't I don't have a problem with it. I think if a player goes, hey, so I know that this place is in the city of Sharn. Can we go there? I'd be like,
Huh?
hell yeah.
But if you're playing like Curse of Strahd and your player is like, I want to make is it researcher, wizard, chrono G?
Oh
whatever.
no. Like if a player picks up a book that is a setting that isn't the setting that I'm running for that game, I try to make it very clear to them it is absolutely 100% case by case. For any setting specific features. So for the Curse of Strahd game that we just started, I said, you can use Player's Handbook, you can use Xanathar, you can use Volo and Skag, you can use Elemental Evil if you feel like being a Goliath or an Aarakocra. And we have a Goliath.
And Sean's background is actually from...
Sean's race.
A race.
Is from Eberron. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know how dragon marks work. I don't see any way for them to fit in the Forgotten Realms or Barovia.
But you're in Barovia?
But
you were called here, so...
Maybe you're just from Eberron and you're called to Barovia. And then it ended up he was from Forgotten Realms anyway because he's part of the Whistleblowers. But
tune into our Curse of Strahd stream. It's fine.
But yeah, like I don't mind setting specific features on a case-by-case basis. Some of them are just absolutely a nightmare to adapt. Dragon marks specifically are really, like, they just don't fit outside of Eberron. But as long as it's not, like, a central part of your character, like, whatever. Just take the mechanics and not the flavor.
So other than specific setting-based releases, what is it? Just Xanathars and Mordenkainen's that was player options?
It's literally just Xanathars. Mordenkainen is not. The only player option in Mordenkainen is Gith.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So was that 3 years ago? 4 years ago? 3 years ago, right? Something like that?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, something like that. Tim says he would love Gift of Alacrity and Fortune's Favor for Orsino and Odyssey because Chronergy is neat. I don't hate it. Like, it's flavored as time magic, but it's divination. Like, it's, foresight. You're a prophecy cleric, and your warlock patron is the oracle. Like, yes, absolutely.
It's cool as shit. Love that.
Okay. How do you feel about an official class release that comes with an optional proficiency?
That's a very good question. So what you're referring to is Artificer that optionally has proficiency in firearms.
Yeah, and would you be okay to swap that out for something else?
I feel like you have to.
So as an armorer artificer, you don't need firearms. So no.
But it's a proficiency.
Shut up.
Oh, that's why you're here. Okay.
That's why he's here.
Got it. Got it.
But yeah, like I obviously don't mind Artificer since I've had one in the last 2 games I ran.
I was worthless in Avernus.
Excuse me, you're dropping 20 fucking temps a turn on everyone.
That's godlike. What the fuck are you talking
about?
bust
that. He busted that for me.
I did break it.
It was only supposed to be 1d8.
It was supposed to be d8 plus 3, but I thought the level 9 okay, so level 9 artillerist feature is all of your Eldritch cannons do 1d8 additional damage. But the Protector bot didn't increase its temps. And I was like, well, that seems dumb. Like, the Protector bot's kind of bad as it is. Like, it kind of needs to go up. Otherwise, it's never getting used. So I was like, yeah, it goes up to 2d8. And then she literally used that to start every single encounter with 21 temps on everybody.
It's the one time I ever felt busted, right? But the rest of me sucked, so it's fine.
I mean, even having 8 temps on 6 characters is kind of good.
Oh, it's d8 plus int mod, so it's fucking 13. Yeah.
Stand in a circle.
Stand in a circle and wait a minute while I guarantee an 8.
Yeah.
Armorer gets that for just themselves.
Armorer also gets 2 additional infusions that they can only put on themselves. So I mean.
All right, next question.
Yeah.
Hot topic. So we had a player die in Curse of Strahd, spoilers.
Did.
And we had a bunch of DMs
Woof.
in chat arguing about how massive damage works.
Yeah.
So the scenario was there was a shambling mound.
Yep.
And he was unconscious, and
when the shambling mound started his turn, Snurk had 6 hit points. Or something like that.
Yeah.
The shambling mound hit him. Did like 12 damage. Knocked him unconscious.
Right.
Multi-attack. Swung at him again. Advantage. Rolled like a 25. Hit. Turns into a crit. So I rolled double damage dice. I think he had 4d8 on a crit. I think it was 2d8 plus 4 or something like that for his normal damage. That actually sounds perfect because that's average of 13, and I remember it being 13.
I trust you.
So 2d8 plus 4, generally, add an extra 2d8 for the crit. I rolled 21 total for a total of 25 damage on a PC with 20 maximum hit points.
Dead.
He died.
No saves.
I smashed every bone in his
nothing.
body.
Chat
No death
thought,
saves.
Chat, the DMs in chat thought that he should have just had 2 failed death saves.
Yes.
Which is not how that works.
Yeah, that's only if it doesn't outright kill him.
Right. So
That-
chat
yeah,
was
that-
arguing that I shouldn't have even rolled damage.
No, you always roll damage.
That would
Right.
make it safer to be unconscious than conscious.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
make it safer to be at 0 than 1.
Which does not make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like it's black and white. The rule for it's in the rules for death saving throws. It explains that if you take damage, you get a failed death save. If the damage is from a critical hit, you get 2 failed death saves. If the damage exceeds your maximum hit points, you die. It spells it out.
Yeah,
Very
there's really
plainly.
not much room for interpretation.
There really
but-
isn't. You know, that's a specific. That's not a general. Like, you know, there's no. You know, we were talking about earlier. Like, if there's room for interpretation, there's room for arguing. There's no room for arguing here. I did more damage than you have max HP. You're dead.
He's alive now. It's fine.
He got better.
If any of you know about Curse of Strahd, you know what we're talking about.
I learned that that's an AL rule that I
What?
apparently had somehow managed to adapt for our Curse of Strahd game, and I
Are you
just
telling me that AL did something right?
apparently.
Was Curse of Strahd during Death Curse or no?
No.
No,
No.
that was TOA.
Okay. Yeah, I just wasn't
God,
sure.
how
if
the
it was
fuck would
same
the Dark
side.
One's gifts work with fucking Death Curse?
Here's
Poorly.
a gift. Nah, just kidding. Surrogate.
Here's the gift. Oh, okay. I guess you're getting sucked up. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
There was actually for like 2 weeks there was actually a rule in AL where if you so there were 2 different story awards. One, the Death Curse. You're afflicted by the Death Curse. If you die, you can't come back until the Death Curse is ended, which is your party finished the campaign or you leveled up to 11 with your surrogate. And then there was another story award for being in Curse of Strahd campaign called the Demi-Planes of Dread. Or the Domains of Dread, I don't remember. Which said that you're not allowed to play anything other than Curse of Strahd because you're stuck in Barovia.
Oof.
And there was actually a rule for like 2 weeks where you couldn't have both of those story awards at once.
Can you turn on the Streamlabs quick?
Yeah.
I want to see how many frames you're dropping. Tim, babe, I think it's just you. We're not dropping anything.
No notifications.
Yeah.
No drop frames.
There is
Yeah.
a storm coming in, so if we disconnect, that's why. But we're not currently dropping frames.
Oh, some people are seeing it.
Weird.
But yeah, like there was actually like 2 weeks where if you could go to Curse of Strahd to get rid of the Death Curse, and then leave Curse of Strahd by spending like 20 downtime days or something stupid.
That's fucking
It was
dumb.
retarded, and that's why they got rid of it.
Got it. Alright, let's talk. We're gonna shift here. Let's talk initiative.
Let's talk. Oh, jeez. That's a topic.
So, what does rolling initiative mean narratively? It's kind of a weird question. I don't know if it makes sense.
No, it makes sense. So
Alright.
rolling initiative narratively means hostilities have become obvious to all parties.
There is a threat.
No, I think it's beyond that. I think it's people are starting to act on those hostilities.
Yeah. So
Okay,
so
yeah.
if I can use a Westerner analogy,
No, that's my analogy.
were you about to
no,
do it?
All right, let Mike do
All right,
it.
Yes.
God.
And then I've got a follow up for surprise.
That was such a brother thing to. No, that's mine.
He's definitely the younger brother.
Oh,
Oh,
shut up.
fuck you. Okay, so
Sorry, the
imagine,
little brother. He's older.
Okay, imagine a Western standoff. Two cowboys down a fucking road, both staring at each other, waiting, ready to go. No combat has started yet. No dice have been rolling. No turns are taking place. One of them says, "I draw my gun." That's when the DM says, "Roll initiative."
Yep.
And
Okay.
that initiative roll is who drew their gun faster, who didn't get it caught on their holster, who got their fucking gun cocked and whatever the fuck first.
But
Who's
what happens?
generally better at
Okay,
drawing?
using that analogy, what if someone is able to shoot and fire before the other one even knows that they're acting on those hostilities?
So in the 5e rules, that's not possible. If you're staring at a dude and he has his hand on his gun, what
That's good enough.
what you're describing is surprise.
Okay.
And that can't happen. You're staring at a dude with his hand on his gun. You're aware of his existence.
I guess.
You're aware that a creature exists who is hostile to you. You don't even need to know that they're hostile to you. You're aware that a creature exists, and if combat starts with that creature,
Yeah.
you're not surprised.
So when Manchun teleported to us,
He used the surprise round to teleport him, I guess.
Mm.
I think that's how I ruled it. I think that's how I agreed that I should have ruled it after the fact.
But
I don't remember.
at the
I'm just
time,
shit.
we were just all surprised. Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think I had you all roll.
Luke, do you remember? Were we all?
Yeah, I remember exactly what
Okay.
you guys were talking about because I wasn't downstairs.
When Manchun teleported into us, were we all surprised for that fight?
So that's a really weird edge case because he
Everything
could
was-
see you before he.
Yeah.
No. This is what had happened. Manchun didn't cast teleport. His simulacrum did. So during the surprise round, the simulacrum cast teleport. Manchun then cast meteor swarm.
I don't think it
Yeah.
makes much difference who actually
And we were
teleport.
surprised because he did
He's
was it clairvoyance? No,
he
not
used, he
clairvoyance.
used scrying.
Scrying, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he does when you said the ear thing, like your ears are burning or whatever.
Yeah.
My ears feel funny.
Yeah. And that's it. So Mike is able, or Denton at the time was able to see invisible things.
You remembered.
And and the scrying sensor was visible. But you weren't rolling initiative against the scrying sensor. You were rolling initiative against Manchun.
Yes.
But I
So
still feel that scrying sensor was enough of a tip-off that shit was about to go down.
Sure, but it could have been an army of like orcs. It could have been anything. You wouldn't know. And plus, you're a barbarian.
Okay.
So stop complaining.
No, fuck you. Could have been, and if that were the case, then oh shit, I wasn't expecting 1,000 orcs. I was expecting Manchun.
yeah, you were explicitly
got
expecting
Manchun.
Manchun. Yeah, I still don't know the perfect way to describe to handle that situation.
I also don't.
But generally,
It was fair because we just came out of like we went through a whole wizard school. We had
Spite.
Spite was mad at us, and we didn't kill him. We still had the metal mage.
Torash?
No, the metal mage.
Oh god, what was it?
Teferian?
Tobrian.
Tefadarian? That was the bronze dragon from New Zerillion.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
How the fuck did I make all that up?
Trobriand.
Goddamn idiot.
Yeah.
How the fuck did you remember Tefadarian?
It's a cool name.
It is a cool
It's a cool
name,
name.
but like, how did he come up with that before Trobriand?
Alright, bring it back.
It's initiative. So when you roll initiative, that means that someone has started to make clear their hostile intentions.
Mhm.
Then everybody else reacting to that, and also doing the same thing.
Right.
Mhm.
Like
Right.
somebody starts pulling their sword out of their holster, fucking everybody start doing the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if you're fans of The Witcher.
Watch our Odyssey game. We got Witcher boy.
We got Witcher boy. You know, imagine the scene in Queen Calanthe's not really throne room, like her banquet hall, where Urcheon draws his sword and all of the guards draw their swords. Yeah. You know, that's initiative. That's rolling initiative. Right. Everyone draws their weapon. Everyone gets ready to attack. And whoever rolls highest. Say it again.
I said there are other cool ways to use initiative. Like, I don't know if we ever did it for like arguments or anything like that. I've seen like some people do that, like to state a case and like political situations or stuff like that.
I used to do that in 4th edition. So that's how skill challenges were suggested to work. But generally, instead of rolling initiative, it would just use your dex mod. It's like your dex mod is your initiative. Like,
that's weird.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I'm charismatic. I'm good at talking to people, but I'm gonna use my dex mod to tell you if I can talk to you first.
Yeah, I don't really understand.
Andy actually had a question. How do you feel about the 6 seconds per turn translating into epic battles being over in 48 seconds?
I would like to invite you to try and fight someone in pitched combat for more than a minute straight.
Yeah.
Pitched combat is akin to sprinting in terms of physical exertion. You are winded after, even if it only lasts 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I would say Princess Bride, the duel between Inigo and
they're fucking talking the whole time.
Exactly. I was going to say that's a counterexample. That's a counterexample of, you know, how exhausting combat can be. They're bantering. They're literally standing there while their opponent is vulnerable. I think Wesley throws his sword and then does a fucking backflip off a vine.
Of course he does.
And then he picks up his sword and Inigo just stands there and watches while he does it. That's the antithesis of what a pitched battle would be.
He's fucking hot as hell. He can do all the flips.
In 4th edition, what's that? The archives are incomplete. Combat is generally very exhausting. So 48-second fights, totally fine. How long does a general, how long does your average lightsaber battle last? Maybe 3 minutes, and these guys are fucking superhuman.
I mean, lightsabers are more...
How long does a boxing match last?
What's each round in boxing?
I think it's 2
3
minutes.
minutes.
Oh, is it 3 minutes?
Jeez, it's a long time, actually.
And those people are just punching each other. Imagine if they had swords.
But simply bouncing around, that, like, shadow boxing, just moving around, that sucks.
How long's a fucking round in MMA?
I think it's also 3 minutes.
I would hope it's shorter.
Yeah, I think it's 3 minutes for MMA.
Huh.
36 minutes?
I think that's a whole fight, depending on the fight.
Yeah, I'm talking each round.
Right, yeah. MMA round time.
So we already kind of talked about surprise, did we?
Kind of. Not really.
Alright, talk about surprise.
So, surprise happens when...
I got an analogy for this, too.
Alright, go.
So, imagine that Western duel. It's over. One cowboy's dead. And the other one goes into the bar for a drink. Goes up to the bar, orders a whiskey. Bartender reaches down to get the drink, comes up with a gun, shoots him dead. That's surprise.
That's not surprise.
Absolutely it is.
That's not surprise. That would not be ruled as surprise in 5th edition, because you're aware of a creature, and he became hostile.
But you had no reason to suspect him being hostile. You had no reason to think combat was going to occur. You weren't ready for it.
But you might be able to draw your gun faster than he can get that shotgun over the bar and fire it at you.
Unless you...
That's what initiative is for.
No,
surprise would be someone fires through the window and you die. You didn't know that guy was out there.
But you weren't expecting the bartender's actions to be what they were.
That's a level beyond surprise. Like, fucking, how do you deal with snipers in 5th edition? You're just like, no, that's not...
Fucking guns!
So that's actually surprise. So in my TOA game, I actually fucked up a surprise round once.
Not once. It never happened again.
Not the TOA game that you guys played, the one that I played at the shop. And it was actually Jacob's character who had alert, which says you cannot be surprised. And they were fired upon by a sharpshooter. It was Bag of Nails. he has the sharpshooter feat, so he has 600 feet range with a longbow.
Yeah.
They just fired on him. And he's an assassin rogue. And I was just like, you get hit and you take 70 damage. You're unconscious, you fall in a river. But what I should have done is had everyone roll initiative and say, you're all surprised. Which would have given Jacobs an opportunity to say, no, I have alert, I can't be surprised. And it's like, okay,
That'd be fucking Loki catching the arrow in Avengers.
Exactly. That's what the feat does.
Surprise, he shot through the bar and you never saw the gun.
There you fucking go.
Yeah. Okay, that's actually a better example.
Yeah.
Because when he ducks down behind the bar, he's hidden, which is you're not aware of him.
Yeah.
The main difference is in the shootout scenario, they're both ready for a fight.
Right.
In the bar scenario, he's not ready for a fight.
One
he's not
of them
expecting
is.
it.
So what's your next question, Steph?
How does readiness work?
Okay, cool. Thanks for asking that.
Way to look at my questions.
I didn't look at your questions. You read them out to me earlier today.
I had to.
So readiness is so I'm glad you said they're ready for a fight.
Yeah.
So during the 5th edition playtest, when it was called D&D Next, there was a condition called readiness. There was normal readiness, alert readiness, and I don't even remember the low alert, whatever.
Poor readiness.
Poor ready, yeah.
What?
And what
ready.
Guards ready.
I'm not ready.
And what it was a conditional plus or minus 5 to your initiative.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember that.
In Tyranny of Dragons, specifically Horde of the Dragon Queen, outside of the cave in the cultist camp, it says, assume the guards are at normal readiness. And everyone asked, what in the fuck does that mean? There are no rules for normal readiness. Yes, it's still referred to in Tyranny of Dragons. It's fucking...
Despite being re-released.
Despite being re-released, they didn't fix that.
Lazy.
Yeah. I saw a tweet earlier today about someone who had just gotten hired by Kobold Press, and all I wanted to do was say Kobold Press sucks. But yeah, so there were rules about readiness, which modified your initiative, which could triggered you, which could potentially affect your level of surprise. If you roll higher than the person who surprised you, then you can take reactions when they take their turn. So you're only surprised for your first turn.
Mm-hmm.
So once your turn is over, if you went first during the surprise round, not a thing, we'll get there. If you take your turn and end your turn, you're no longer surprised. So you can take reactions. So if Jacobs hadn't had alert, but he'd still rolled higher than this invisible sniper, that he had no way to detect in any way, he could have cast shield and maybe protected himself.
Right.
But even with the alert feat, he very much should have been able to cast shield and protect himself. I don't think he had shield at the time.
He was a what?
He was a sorcerer. Eat a dick, Shadows.
I said get
This
you.
is one of the reasons I don't like surprise. As a player mechanic, I don't like surprise, especially for like assassins or anything, because you're always trying to set it up, and it's never gonna work out the right way. If it's a good written story, you shouldn't be surprising your enemy. You're in a story. You're usually going in somewhere to do something in a place that you're not supposed to be, unless you like somehow scoped out an entire dungeon and know the whole layout and all the people inside of it. Like, how are you?
Sam
Like,
Fisher the entire thing.
yeah, you
Yeah.
have to push it.
Do you remember how many times I have that problem with invisibility too? Remember how many things Mike's character broke because of Robe of Eyes?
Yeah.
It's like an enemy will never get the drop on you because it's basically like you have alert. But it's item, and it's a totally different thing. But it's...
I mean, just being barbarian kind of gave me alert, but yeah.
Also, surprise that condition now.
Surprised is a pseudo condition, so it's not actually described in the conditions, but essentially what being surprised does is you cannot take you can't act on your first turn in combat.
You still have.
You can't act. You can't take actions or move until the end of your first turn of combat. Which means you can't take reactions, you can't take actions, you can't take bonus actions, you can't move. Technically, you can still do item interactions. So you can draw your sword.
You could also set what's it called? What's that 6th level spell? Contingency. You can set a contingency for the first time. I'm surprised on a combat to go off on my turn. No.
No. Contingency's trigger has to be something that is observable in world. Being surprised in combat. You can take free actions while you're surprised. So you can just speak a command word.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh fuck! And then contingency goes off. Yes, you can do that. You can't have it automatically triggered when you're surprised.
I don't know anything about contingency.
It's a 6th level spell. When you cast it, you also cast a 5th level spell called the Contingent Spell, and you set a trigger. When that trigger occurs, the Contingent Spell is cast, targeting only you.
Neat. I don't have the creativity to use that well.
It's a really good spell.
Yeah, Shadows, that's the use magic item action. But you could contingency, oh fuck, and make a dome of wall of force around you.
Yep.
Alright, here we go, since we're already there anyway. Let's talk spells. Let's start.
Magic.
We're already at spells?
Magic. Let's start with our house rules.
Okay.
So multiple leveled spells per turn.
Yeah, so there's a rule in the book that says if you cast a leveled spell, which is to say a spell of first level or higher, leveled spell isn't a term that's used in any book, but it's way faster than saying a spell of first level or higher. Yeah. So we call them leveled spells, which is any spell that isn't a cantrip. So if you cast a leveled spell as a bonus action, then the only other spell you can cast on the same turn is a cantrip that takes an action to cast. Period. That's the rule. What this inadvertently does is prevent you from casting Featherfall if you decide to Healing Word and then jump off a cliff.
Right.
Can't do it. It prevents you from casting Shield if you Healing Word and then run across the room and provoke an opportunity attack. It prevents you from casting Healing Word and Cure Wounds on another guy.
I don't know why.
There are other bonus action spells.
Or any other bonus action.
I don't know why that rule...
Spiritual weapon.
Yeah.
If spells were given action, bonus action, reaction, why did they need that rule?
So
Crawford doesn't know either. He said at some point they're not actually sure if that rule was necessary. They just screwed it because of a perceived imbalance that they thought might happen.
Yep.
Especially when sorcerers are so weak in general.
Yes, sorcerers are hilariously weak.
Sorcerers are not garbage, okay?
No, sorcerers
Relax!
Sorcerers as written are garbage.
Yeah.
Which is why I've removed the rule that limits the one possibility of them being strong, and I added a house rule that makes every caster more powerful, but sorcerers more than ever.
Next topic, meta magic for all.
Cool.
Good job, real quick.
So Meta Magic for All is a house rule that I found on probably our Unearthed Arcana, not the UA publications, but
one guy entered the giveaway.
The Unearthed Arcana subreddit is probably where I found it. That essentially gives every spellcaster of 3rd level or higher access to every meta magic. So every spellcaster has access to Quicken, Twinned, Empowered, Heightened, Distant, Subtle, Extended. Is that all of them?
I think so.
Cool. Every single spellcaster of 3rd level or higher has access to all of them. Only sorcerers get sorcery points after a long rest. Everyone else just loses theirs.
Yeah.
Every spellcaster can burn a spell slot for sorcery points to power their meta magic. Anytime a sorcerer would normally pick a meta magic to learn, instead they pick a meta magic and reduce its cost by 1 to a minimum of 0. So at level 3, you can pick Subtle and Empowered, and then every single spell you cast is Subtle Empowered for no sorcery points.
It makes sorcerers good.
it makes sorcerers good.
Yeah.
With the sort of side effect of making other spellcasters slightly better.
I have a hard time with that rule as not a sorcerer.
As a not sorcerer, yeah.
Well, it only really
you
helps
cannot
with-
combine metamagics in the same spell as normal, except for empowered. Empowered is the only metamagic you can use with other metamagics.
What'd you say, Luke?
I said it's only really good for full casters, especially full casters
Yeah.
with like a recovery mechanic, like arcane recovery or the cleric one, or
It's also really good for warlocks.
What's the cleric?
yeah, warlocks too.
What?
What's the cleric one?
The cleric one that gets spell slots back?
Yeah.
I think that's Arcana.
I think the druid spell one gets one.
Land druid gets natural recovery or whatever it's called, which is arcane recovery but druid. You cannot combine metamagics on the same spell. Period. Forever. That's a rule. Like that's a thing. Only empowered spell can be used on a spell that has already been modified by metamagic.
So, hey, more specific beats general.
Specific beats general. Yep. Yeah. The general rule is you cannot use two metamagics. Empowered says you can use this on a spell that already has metamagic.
There was a conversation on Discord earlier about twinning Chaos Bolt, and so actually, if you apply the metamagic rule, and then that gets really fucky. That gets really cheap.
What?
To do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it's
Shit.
it's a first level spell. So if you pick twinned to reduce the cost of, that was loud. Holy shit.
We love loud noises.
Fucking
Loud
hell.
noises. That one guy is staying with the Gilded Troll.
Hell
Thanks
yeah.
for subbing 9 months. Holy shit. It's
you've
it's
been around for a
absolutely
while.
yeah,
Thanks.
it's absolutely insane to see people just coming back month
Love
after
you.
month.
You're welcome for being here for 13 months.
Yeah. I think you have the record. Luke,
Hell yeah.
how many do you have?
12.
12?
Oh.
Trash.
Yeah, fuck all y'all nerds.
You know, we've been streaming for 19 months. What the fuck, Mike?
I'm fucking sorry you weren't goddamn affiliate or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah. We've been affiliate for 15 months.
You know, my
so what the
streak
fuck?
is 2 months. Because my Amazon Prime don't count because it's his Amazon Prime.
No, your Amazon Prime counts. You just have to renew it within 3 days of it expiring, or you lose your streak.
No, whatever.
Anyway, Andy's at 8. Holy shit.
What I asked? Twinning stuff.
Twinning specifically Chaos Bolt, I think.
Yeah, I don't know where that conversation went in Discord earlier today.
All over the
But it
place.
seemed
You're
heated.
probably
Yeah.
going with the like action economy as like if you are consistently holding it up using your action, does it hold both beams or does it only hold one beam?
Chaos Bolt, not Witch Bolt.
Oh, now wishbowl? Oh, I thought
Yeah.
you said
Yeah.
Chaos Bolt. The reason the question exists is twin spell says that you can't twin a spell that can target more than one creature. Technically, Chaos Bolt can target more than one creature.
Like there's that ambiguity with English definitions again. Like
Right.
you target a creature and then the spell goes and does other things.
Right.
yeah. Still,
But like in that case, can you twin Chain Lightning? Because you target a creature and then the spell hits more guys. Like it's
Chain Lightning actually
Yeah.
just straight up targets 4 creatures.
yeah. I don't think it.
Mm.
no, it says you target a creature and then 3 more.
Oh, yeah.
you target each creature.
But you target 4 creatures, 3 of whom have to be within 30 feet of the first.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
at the cast of the spell, you know you're targeting multiple creatures.
Yeah.
I guess.
Whereas with Chaos Bolt, like, you don't even know if you're going to hit the first dude, let alone roll, the same number twice. So I would say, personally, that if you twin Chaos Bolt, and then somehow both of them... if you twin Chaos Bolt and you target 2 enemy creatures, and then one of them chains, you cannot chain it from creature A to creature B. You have to chain it to creature C.
That seems fair.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, because just in the spell, you can't keep
Yeah, the
hitting
spell
the same guy.
says you can't bounce back and forth. You cannot target the same creature more than once with one casting of the spell.
Got it.
So I don't. So this is an interesting discussion. Rules as written versus rules as intended.
Mm.
Rules as written sometimes is in direct conflict with rules as intended. Usually, though, rules as written are just sort of ambiguous, and then there's a clear intention that can guide, how to use the rule. But in terms of twin spell, my opinion is that rules as intended is to keep you from being able to target the same creature twice with one spell cast. So you can't twin fireball 2 different points that happen to just sort of Venn diagram right on the big bad guy. You can't do that because fireball targets more than one creature.
Yeah. Or it's like
I mean, it doesn't even target a creature; it targets an area.
It actually targets a point and every creature in its radius. Those are its targets. That's how AoEs work, is you target the point and each affected creature or object.
Reminds me of fucking 4E healing, fucking close burst 30, one target in range. Like, why?
So dumb. The reason for that was something to do with ranged attacks and combat advantage.
For healing?
No, just generally, if you used a ranged power, had something to do with combat advantage. So they wanted healers to get around that limitation. So it's a close burst. It's not a range.
Oh, dear
Yeah.
God. Okay.
It was weird.
Oh, this is something you want to talk about. I didn't even know it existed. Fine Steed and Cone of Cold.
Luke, you want to take this one?
Wait, what about it?
Fine Steed and Kona Cold. Why is it stupid? I gotta go pee.
I don't know. You can't.
Because
Because of that?
Okay.
That doesn't technically. I guess. Yeah, because it's a self spell, so you technically any spell that you target yourself with, you can also target your
Steed.
your mount. So you would get 2 blasts of Cone of Cold, which could in fact hit multiple. Yeah, it would go off twice.
Why?
Because it's from you. It's Let me make sure I'm
Huh?
correctly.
I don't understand. You cast it. Why
Here's
does
the
horse
thing, though,
have
with
it?
it. It's
because it's a cone from you.
It's
it's
range is self. It's
self.
not a target of self, which is the fucking dumb thing that people try to justify.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, self spells have a range of self, but your target is self.
Yeah.
With cone spells, your range is self, cone from self, target, all this shit in front of you.
Yeah, if you wanted to be really stupid and say like, oh, it's target self, then I would say like, okay, you're inside of the cone then.
Enjoy your 18
Yeah.
damage.
Yeah,
and
you
enjoy
get
the
hit by
18
it.
on the horse too.
Exactly.
At risk of repeating what people have just said, the confusion is that the range is self,
He said it
but the
already.
target is the point directly in front of your face, and then every single creature inside of the cone.
That's fucking
It does not
stupid.
target only you. It doesn't even target you at all. It targets a point adjacent to you, and then every creature inside of the cone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the argument is that you can just double any kind of self AOE, which is just stupid.
Yep.
But fantastic for a lore bard. Level 6, you pick up Fine Steed. Level 10, you pick up Cone of Cold, and then you just shit on everyone.
Did you, by the way, did you remove the sorcery point cap?
I did not. So the sorcery point cap under Meta Magic for All is equal to your multi-classing equivalent spellcaster level.
Okay. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so as an artificer,
I don't get anything. That's fucking terrible.
What do you mean you don't get
It
anything?
just takes. Well, I gotta wait until 5th level to even get sorcery points in the first place.
No. You get Meta Magic at 3. But your
Okay.
maximum sorcery points is equal to your equivalent level. So at level 3, you get Meta Magics, but your maximum sorcery points is 2, because that's half your artificer level rounded up.
Okay.
Jesse's confused on metamagic. In the metamagic for all homebrew rule, there is a bullet point that says sorcerers may cast any conjunction of metamagics on a single spell. Am I misunderstanding
Oh,
this?
is that in the...
That seems busted.
Yeah, that's a little. I think that's a
Yeah.
little much, but
No, that's super busted, because if they can just get a whole bunch of free ones, they could just
Yeah,
supercharge
then
every single spell
spell,
they
yeah.
cast. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
That's ridiculous.
here's the thing. I'm not using the rule that I found on...
Yeah.
I'm not even... I just googled Metamagic for All and I'm not finding it.
I
I'm not
liked
using the rule
He
that
liked
someone... Oh, hey, cool. Yeah, Yeah,
Good
this
job,
is exactly. Oh, sorcery points for all. This isn't the one that I found. The one that I found was explicitly called Meta Magic for All. This one, yeah, this is by allowing the 4 selected meta magics. What the fuck?
This is not written well.
This is written very poorly. This is not the one that I'm
We'll
using.
find you a better one.
No, honestly, the better one is the one in our rules channel on Discord because it covers everything you need to know.
Oh, it's actually.
Oh
written
wait,
in
no.
there.
Oh,
That's
here's.
right.
Oh no, that's the one I actually fucking linked. What the hell?
Nice, dude.
All right, I need to remove that from the Discord because no, I think what ended up happening is they rewrote it since I linked it, and it's garbage.
Or maybe you just read it
and then
remember-
fixed
A
it.
cool idea. I'm gonna change that.
Yeah, cool
Remember-
idea. I'm gonna change it and make it less
remember-
garbage.
remembered the parts you liked and forgot the parts you didn't like.
Yeah.
That's a
So
very Ian thing.
so I deleted the link. We're not using that link anymore. Just use the description that I gave. No, you can't combine meta magics outside of empowered.
It's
Fuck.
too busted. It's. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just bad.
Just imagine a quicken, twinned, subtle, empowered spell every turn. 2 of them every turn.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was too busted.
Wait. What?
No, like I remember the homebrew that I saw having like
Different wording.
not the best English. It was nowhere near this bad. I think they went back in and edited it and made it
Just quit while you're ahead, bro.
broken. Yeah, like this is god awful.
Always good when your proofreading makes it worse.
Why would you give warlocks a sorcery point after a long rest?
What? Why?
After a
What?
long. Huh?
Why? Why?
What does that? What does that do for them?
Why?
That's so stupid.
All right,
A
moving on.
single sorcery point. Okay.
Moving on. Oh.
Andy
here.
casts Smash every turn and he gets to twin it at 5th
Oh
level.
my god.
He's a barbarian.
Here.
Who's Smashing Twins? What?
Andy.
Who's smashing twins? What?
Hey man, Rose and Thorn aren't twins.
All right, let's make fun of Crawford some more.
Rose and
So
Cranston
Crawford,
Guildenstern? What?
Crawford's magic missile rule.
Alright, so Magic Missile says... I'm
I had to. It's a rules conversation.
I'm gonna pull up Magic Missile. Each dart hits a creature of your choice you can see within range. A dart deals 1d4 plus 1 force damage to its target. Crawford somehow read that and decided that when you cast the spell, you
No,
roll
the
a
part
single
that he's fucking up with.
d4.
The part that he's
What?
fucking up is the next sentence where all the darts hit simultaneously. So
I-
he makes that makes him think it's like an AoE. So you treat it like an AoE with a single damage roll for every target, which is asinine.
Asinine. So his argument is that you roll a single d4 and then add 1 to the result of that, and that's how much damage every single dart does. So if you roll a 1, you're firing out some number of 2 damage darts.
That feels.
And if you
fucking
roll a
awful.
4, you're throwing out a buttload of 5 damage darts. And that's
Enjoy this
cool.
disintegrate.
Yeah, just enjoy this fucking disintegrate.
Oh god, they're both force damage.
They are both force damage. So it's absolutely fucking asinine that would ever be the case. Like, imagine having a wand of magic missiles and just burning all 7 charges, as Zogrim was wont to do.
Dealing 12 fucking damage.
And then you roll a 1, and you get 9 darts for 2 damage apiece. And it's like, wow, my wand broke 2.
Yeah. I feel like even rolling though with that, I feel like sometimes I was doing less damage than cantrips.
I mean, once you're tier 3, and especially into tier 4, Magic Missile and every 1st, 2nd, and even 3rd level spells start to fall behind cantrips in terms of single target
I don't know
damage.
about third levels.
I don't know about 3rd, but definitely 1st and 2nd.
I don't know about that fireball
Yeah.
though.
Not even just fireball, but you get like haste, you get Lehman's tiny hut, which we use every single
That's
like.
3rd level.
Fly.
Fly.
Yeah, it's fine.
Polymorph 3rd level?
What?
What's that?
Isn't Polymorph 3rd level too?
Polymorph's 4th.
Damn it.
Wow, Steph knew something you didn't. Get fucked.
She was the one that cast Polymorph, not me.
I did it all the time. I turned polymorph and made T-Rexes, bitch.
Yeah, it's true.
Ian wanted to talk about contagion and the errata.
All right, so
I got Slimy Doom.
yeah. Okay. So Contagion is a spell that has like 6 different modes, and none of them matter outside of Slimy Doom. And the way the spell was originally written, it could either be interpreted that the very moment you cast the spell, they're inflicted with Slimy Doom, which stuns them anytime they take damage. And then if they make 3 out of the next 5 saves, then they, the disease is removed and the spell ends. But if they fail 3 out of the next 5 saves, then it's permanent for like 7 days or some shit. Or until they remove the disease. There's no save, there's no attack roll, it's just, I touch you and you're Slimy Doomed. So that's one interpretation, which is hilariously busted. You touch the big bad evil guy, and then you have your wizard friend cast magic missile, so you unerringly hit them for, 2 times however many darts you have, because that's the thing. And that automatically stuns them for a round. And you just keep spamming magic missiles so you can't miss. Or don't even bother with that. Just have the fighter attack 3 times per turn with advantage because they're stunned to keep them stunned. And then even if they're a legendary creature and they burn their legendary resistance once per turn to get rid of this disease, that's 3 entire rounds that you can just wail on them with impunity because you decided to cast a single spell.
Isn't stunned auto crit too?
No, that's paralyzed.
No, it's paralyzed.
Damn it.
So with that interpretation of Contagion, it is hilariously stupid busted.
The best spell, isn't that 5th level too?
It's 6th.
6th, okay.
The other interpretation is that the disease does not take effect at all until they fail 3 of the next 5 saves. Which is by far the most reasonable interpretation, but it makes the spell almost entirely worthless. Because
it turns from crazy godlike overpowered to...
Is it 5th?
It is 5th. I'm looking at it.
Ah. I thought this one was 6th.
To more of a flavor spell because of it lasting a week thing.
Right.
Do you have the fixed one in your spell tool?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I think I have the errata in my spell tool. Does it mention the poisoned condition?
Shit, fuck that, I don't know.
Alright,
I had
get
all
back
the
to me.
spells up and then tried to fuck
Spell tool doesn't have the errata?
Does not say poisoned, so I guess
Cool
not.
beans.
No, yeah.
So the other interpretation is that the disease doesn't take effect, which is
it's
pretty...
an attack roll at least.
It what?
It is an attack roll.
Oh, okay, it's a spell attack roll.
Yeah.
So you make a spell attack roll and you permanently stun them for at least 3 rounds. That's very, 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 very powerful. That's like 9th level spell powerful.
Oh god, and here's the best part. Slimy Doom is disadvantage on con saving throws.
Yeah.
Con saves are how you get rid of it.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. The other interpretation is the disease doesn't take effect until they fail 3 saves against it, which basically makes it worthless because it could take 18 to 30 seconds for the spell to do literally anything.
I love
Also,
that
doesn't make
spell.
much sense with the wording. It says, on a hit, you afflict the creature with
Right.
disease of your choice, and then it says the disease's effect lasts for the duration after
Right.
this.
Right. So they errated it because it was either godlike or worthless, and in either case, nonsensical. So instead, what it does now is that make a melee spell attack. On a hit, you poison them for the duration of the spell. Once, and by poison I mean the poisoned condition. And then they make saves as before. If they make 3 successes, then the spell ends entirely. If they get 3 failures, then they get the disease of your choice. So, still 18 to 30 seconds before they're afflicted with Slimy Doom, but at least you get the consolation prize of poisoned in the meantime.
I think
Okay.
it's still powerful.
I wouldn't say poison is worth a 5th level spell slot.
It most certainly is not. But if
Isn't
you
it
can...
the most resistant
Poisoned condition.
poison condition? My bad.
Poison damage is the 2nd most resisted damage type.
Yeah.
It might actually be the most... it might be the most
Conditions.
immune condition.
Oh,
It might be.
condition? Yeah, probably.
You would think so for a 5th level spell. That doesn't seem
Condition immunity, poisoned. Let's see. Let's just see how many pages. There's 24 pages of creatures that are immune to poisoned on D&D Beyond. So that's something like 480 creatures.
That's a
Yeah.
bunch. How many
Out of let's clear all my filters and see how many creatures there are. There are 89. So 24 out of 89 pages are immune to poisoned. That's like
third of all
a
creatures.
third. Yeah.
So not great.
It's not quite a third.
It's good on humanoids, and like
Yeah.
it is a cleric druid spell, so it's not gonna be something that's like insanely
It's only
like
cleric
offensive.
druid.
well, it's cleric druid, and then like I think subclass is like some
Oathbreaker, paladin, and
Oathbreaker.
Undying warlock.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
so yeah, those are
Weird.
it's not a good 5th level slot for those two, but for druid and cleric, like
Yeah.
druid and cleric don't have the best spell selection, so
I would actually argue that it's really good for Undying, just because short rest spell slots.
I don't even know what Undying
Oh, that's true, yeah.
warlock is.
Contagion, everything.
Your patron's like undead. Your patron is some creature that figured out how to never die.
Why have I never heard
patron
of it?
is
Is it really
Anubis.
bad?
I don't know why you've never heard of it, because Zogrim was an Undying warlock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention to him. Yeah, man,
That's why
that's the only thing I
undead couldn't
remember.
hit me.
I mean,
Yeah.
she was kind of undead.
Yeah.
Yeah, his patron was a wish, not a lich, a wish.
His patron was a birthday candle.
Yeah.
Daddy. What else? Oh, do you want to talk about healing spirits nerf?
Healing spirits nerf. So healing spirits, healing spirit, singular.
Healing spirits possessive nerf.
Okay. Healing
I was
spirit.
correct.
Shut up. Healing spirit was a hilariously overpowered spell.
Ian banned it for a while.
I banned it from all my games. That's how bad it was.
He doesn't ban things very often.
I banned very, very, very few things, in fact. But healing spirit was banned because outside of combat, it was capable of healing your entire party for 10d6 hit points at the cost of each, at a cost of 1 second level spell slot. In no universe is that balanced, and yes, it was the Congo Simulator 2020. Conga, yes.
Wasn't it the Hokey Pokey?
Hokey Pokey, Conga,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever floats your fucking boat. Whatever dance.
fucking dance you want to do.
Yeah, whatever dance you want to do that
Hey,
involves
Macarena.
everyone putting their foot in the same
I was
spot.
gonna say do the fucking Macarena to get your fucking healing.
Every wedding from the 1990s into the 2000s. That's what it was.
Yup.
Yeah, it was 10d6 hit points to every single person in your party for a second level spell slot. And some people tried to argue that, like, whatever, that's not a big deal.
Oh, it's a big deal.
Are you high?
In combat,
Yeah.
it's okay because it's
yeah.
chaotic and like concentration and
Right.
positioning and like whatever.
Out of
Right.
combat, fucking no.
It's absurd. Yeah.
No.
Out of combat, it was just absolutely fucking absurd.
Yeah.
So they nerfed it. Yes, 10d6 per player. No, it's 1d6 per round. Doesn't it upscale? But like, can't you upcast it for
Oh
like
my
1d6
God,
extra
no.
healing? I think you can.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, no, the healing increases by 1d6 for each slot level above second.
What were they thinking?
Right. A second level spell
No.
slot for 20d6 per PC. Fourth level spell slot for 30d6 per player. What
Crawford
the
designed this spell.
fuck?
Yeah,
So
that's great.
it's been nerfed.
Fucking
Like
Crawford.
it got nerfed to oblivion. So instead of being 10d6 per player,
Mhm.
it is Wizmod d6s total. Period.
For second
That's
level.
still pretty strong.
It's still pretty strong. Like, you know, once you have +5 wisdom, because
Wait.
it's a druid ranger spell, so
It's good.
wisdom.
It's not busted anymore.
It's 5d6 healing for a second level spell slot. You're not gonna get better than that outside of Prayer of Healing, which
Imagine pulling that
takes
shit
10
during a
minutes to cast.
boss fight.
imagine just
Sorry,
move buffs.
Zariel, we need to dance for a second.
Let me just cast Time Stop and dance through your fucking
Oh, that's fine.
Healing Spirit. Healing Spirit takes no action.
Doesn't
You
it?
could time stop, walk through someone's Healing Spirit repeatedly.
Oh my
Yep.
god, stop. What level's time stop?
Nice.
Nine.
Oh.
Wait, does healing spirit still get moved and stuff like that now too, or how does the D6 usage work?
So
It's just a matter of charges, right?
Oh, it's 1 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. It's literally the exact same thing it used to be, but it can only heal a number of times equal to 1 plus your spellcasting ability modifier.
Okay. And it's only once per turn, though, right? Once
No,
per turn.
it's any number of times per turn. If you cast it and then your entire party runs through it all at once, you could burn it in a round.
Yeah, but can like one player get 6 uses in one round?
No, it's once per turn.
Yeah.
Right? Whenever you or a creature you can see moves into its space for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there. So could you start your turn there, move out, move in, get twice per turn?
Fucking ready action to move after you go.
I rolled that as a maximum of 1d6 per turn. That makes sense.
What?
Um,
It says or, not and. Okay, so Jables, in terms of actual pure logic, or is more permissive than Endor. Actually, no. In terms of pure logic, or literally means Endor. So.
That's a capital or, though.
That is capital or. That's true.
so we're at an hour and a half.
Yep.
Are
you out of stuff?
No, I have so many more questions. That's why this is going to be multiple parts.
Go, hurry, hurry, go.
My question is, do we want to keep going? I don't know. How long does last call normally?
It's usually about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
All right, let's.
Have we bitched enough about Crawford?
I'm telling you.
I think we could fit a sniper 2 in.
All right, let's.
Okay, what are some other fucking absurd rulings he's come up with?
Shield Master.
What do you say about Shield Master?
Well, that one is just fucking ridiculous because he went back and forth so many times.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I don't remember exactly what the fuck.
Hold up,
is,
we're still on magic. Okay. We're still on magic. Let's
you
talk
have more magic questions?
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's talk concentration.
Okay.
Because we haven't really explored that yet. So, why does concentration exist? Let's start there.
Because third edition wizards were the most powerful creatures in existence.
Is concentration not a thing in
Nope.
3?
No.
Fuck.
Wizards could buff themselves and optionally their party with 30 fucking buff spells, and you were literal gods.
Also, the duration of almost every spell was dependent on your level. Not the level of spell, not the level at which you cast the spell, your level.
Wow.
So, like, there were spells that were like, duration, 1 minute per caster level.
Wow.
That's how practically every spell worked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fucking, like Fireball.
Fireball was 1d6 per caster level damage. So when you got it at 5th level, it only did 5d6. But when you got to level 8, it did the 8d6 that we all know and love.
And then they decided that modifier was a better indicator than, like, class level for some
Well, I mean,
things.
Fireball is just 8d6.
Well, yeah, but for other things, it's not really class level.
Also, Fireball was capped at 10d6.
That's weird.
No. Concentration is super needed in 5th edition. Like,
Absolutely.
You need some way to limit casters. Even now, like I think I don't know if we talked about this before, but like casters are like burst characters.
Yes.
Well, okay, some of the casters, like not clerics and druids, but like all the. Okay, so it's like half
Wizards and sorcerers are burst casters.
Warlocks are.
No,
okay,
Warlocks
wizards
are
and
weird.
paladins.
Yeah.
Paladins.
Yeah, paladins.
Oh yeah, paladins.
What spells?
Fire load 2 rounds.
What spells should be concentration and aren't?
Blink.
Probably
Blink is
Fire
Blink
Shield.
Blink is non-con?
Yeah.
Blink is non-con.
Is it?
That's why I like it.
Fire
That's cool.
Shield should probably be concentration.
Probably
Okay.
mirror image.
Mirror Image is
Maybe?
not. No, Mirror Image would be retarded. It's like, oh, they managed to hit me instead of my Mirror Image, so I lost them.
I mean,
That kind of makes
that's-
sense.
That's how Fire Shield works. If it would have concentration.
That's true. The problem with Fire Shield probably shouldn't be concentration because the next thing I was gonna say, the next question is gonna be what has concentration and
Blink
shouldn't.
is so good for non-con.
And the first thing
The investitures have concentration, and they're like sort of the same thing as Fire Shield.
right. The next thing what I was gonna say is what shouldn't have concentration but does is bark skin.
Oh my god.
Like, let me set my AC to 16, but if you ever roll higher than that, I'm just gonna lose it all.
Yeah.
Stone skin as well, yeah.
Which is why no one ever
Spiritual
takes
weapon
those.
should probably be concentration.
Yeah, it's kind of busted.
It's by far the best second level spell. It's also by far the best fourth level spell.
Yeah.
Well, it might be the best clearance now outside of like fucking heal.
I don't know. Misty Step is pretty good.
Misty Step's pretty fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
But Misty Step's not going to let you do 12d8 damage over the course of a fight.
It's just an escape.
Not with that attitude.
Remember when I was spamming 8th level spiritual weapons in Readiness?
I could just keep making them.
I didn't even bother moving them. I just made new ones.
Is there anything else that isn't there? Wait.
Okay, so
concentration that shouldn't be.
Is purely defensive spells.
Warding bond.
Warding bond is concentration.
I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure I'm looking.
Oh god, that's so bad.
It is not.
Oh, it's not?
It'd be super weird if it was.
No.
No, it's not. Yeah.
That spell is literally I'm taking damage that I otherwise wouldn't.
Yeah.
There's something like that.
Better fucking take Warcaster if you're gonna do that shit.
Yeah. So the thing with concentration is that generally, kind of, you want to make defensive spells non-concentration and offensive spells concentration.
And buffs.
That's defensive.
You just said
defensive and offensive. So defensive spells should be non-con. Offensive spells should be concentration. Generally.
What about
if
someone casts Bless on
Here's the thing. Well, Bless is offensive because it affects attack rolls too.
Oh yeah.
But here's the thing. That was kind of the problem with 3rd edition Wizards. First round of combat, they cast Time Stop. And then they cast Mind Blank, Quickened Stone Skin, Fire Shield, Quickened Expeditious Retreat, Fly, Quickened...
Did anyone in 3rd edition ever play anything other than a wizard?
Yeah, and those people, we have a name for those people.
Uh-huh.
They're called corpses.
Cute. That's going on the quote page if I can remember it later because I'm not doing it now.
There's a name for those people. They're called corpses.
No, we have to include
That's the perfect context. No.
That's the perfect context. But no, like at high levels, it became the wizard casts Time Stop, and during Time Stop, casts 12 buffs on himself.
Hang on, I want to find that comic.
Vesuvius.
Yep.
The Time Stop is kind of trash in 5th edition.
It's super trash in 5th edition.
Like, if you don't have delayed Fireball Blast, it's insanely trash. Like, you need at least that to make it somewhat useful.
Man.
Got it.
You found it?
Yep.
Put it in the chat.
Acid Immunity. Quicken Stone Skin. Mind Blank. Quicken Bears... I have a fucking wiki page of it. I don't have the actual link to the comic. Quicken Bear's Endurance, Protection from Spells, Quicken Shield, Delayed Blast Fireball, Quickened Fire Shield.
Yeah. Here, have a buttload of buffs, and also Delayed Blast Fireball that'll go off when Time Stop ends.
God.
You can't even run away in 5e, right? It's like if you get like a certain amount away from the Time Stop area, it ends or something.
Yeah, I think it's a mile. That's
like
to stop you from like 1,000 feet.
That's basically a mile.
Add quote.
That's a metric mile.
I think Steph did it.
Huh?
Nah, Steph just called for a quote. I'm adding a quote.
No, I added it.
Oh, did you? Shit.
You just double up.
Fuckhead! I'm doing my job!
I have a semicolon, which is
producer.
better. So I'm just gonna go in and delete yours.
Pay attention to me, fuckhead.
No.
No.
Cloudbot, quotes. Yeah, literally the only difference is I used a semicolon and you used a period.
Why chat go away?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
On
fucking ruined everything.
Oh, on the stream? What the fuck?
Yeah, that's weird.
Why did
It
that go
reset
away?
itself.
That was weird.
You fucking ruined it, Steph.
Mike did quote and his quote came up.
I did quote 1.
Yeah, you did quote 1.
Oh, my bad.
Because I got the first one, yeah.
Crying is a free action. I worship folk. What's my alignment? Perfect.
My soul is adamantine, bitch.
Alright, hold on.
My alignment is money.
Do I have anything else revolving around
Fucking Scrooge McDuck or something?
That was Poppy. Her alignment
Anyway.
was mine.
For twinned meta magic, if it's a concentration spell that was twinned to
Oh yeah, that's
target
Jesse's
two
question.
targets,
If
yes.
let's say you twin hold person, are you concentrating on 2 spells or 1 spell? And the answer is 1 spell.
You don't get 2 concentration checks.
That's it.
or anything like that.
I have actually that brings up a good topic. I have actually played around with the idea of allowing people to concentrate on multiple spells at a time, but the total level of spells you can concentrate is equal to the highest level spell you can cast.
Yeah.
So if you can cast 5th level spells, then you can concentrate on 5 total spell levels. But then the other limitation is that if you're concentrating on 2 spells, the DC for concentration checks is increased by 5. If you're concentrating on 3 spells, it's increased by 10.
Fuck.
That's kind of neat.
And when you take damage, do you roll for
You
each?
you make
effect?
a save for each, yeah.
That's why you just play a wizard and you play a conjuration wizard who doesn't lose concentration when they take damage.
Is that
Yep.
a thing?
Yep, that's their level 10 feature,
What
I
the
think.
fuck?
So then the other thing with Twin
Wow.
Spell is, for instances, like you are managing 2 spells
It's literally
and
10.
and 1 concentration.
Yeah.
So a real simple example is Witch Bolt. If the target ends its turn, or you end your turn, or whatever the fuck, if they're more than 30 feet away
If they're
from you,
ever more than 30 feet from you.
the spell ends.
Yep.
But only that specific instance of it. So if
Right.
you run closer to one target and away from the other one, and the lightning breaks on the first target, you're still concentrating on the second half of that spell, and it works totally
Right.
fine.
Twinned Witch Bolt, incidentally, is really goddamn cool.
Yeah.
That's what
Palpatine.
Luke thought.
Also,
we were.
isn't there a higher level spell that is basically what Witch Bolt should have been?
Yeah. Fuck.
Is it Enervation?
Yeah, but innovation was bad, I think.
Is it?
One of them.
No, it's Enervation. On it, they make a dex save. On a successful save, they take 2d8 necrotic damage and the spell ends. On a failed save, they take 4d8 necrotic damage. And until the spell ends, you can use your action on each of your turns to automatically deal 4d8 necrotic damage to the target. And it upcasts both the initial and the repetitive damage. But it's a 5th level spell for 4d8 repetitive
It's a
damage.
5th level spell for 4d8, and it's necrotic damage.
And it heals you, and it has twice the range.
I don't know. I think Witch Bolt is better just because, one, it has D12s, and D12s are better, and it does lightning damage, which is less resistant than necrotic.
This
That
is
is
fucking
certainly
theoretical.
not true.
No, lightning.
Really?
There's no way lightning is less.
There's
resistant than necrotic.
approximately 200 out of the 2,000
I thought
creatures.
necrotic is way more resistible
Yeah.
than lightning.
Let me
I
see.
mean, depending on how
It's
many
easy.
undead things.
I'm
exist.
checking.
I mean, I'm just saying. I know you can get it at first level with a lot of races or classes, like necrotic resistance.
There's somewhere between 120 and 100. Okay, so there's about 130 creatures that are either resistant or immune to necrotic,
Okay.
compared to about 240 for lightning.
Wow.
Yeah, usually the elemental based damage types I feel like are way more easily resisted
Yeah,
than
I would
radiant
definitely
or
agree with that.
necrotic or
And then there's Radiant, which has literally 22 creatures that are resistant or immune. 16 resistant, 6 immune, and 11 of those 22 creatures are angels. Like
Wow.
lawful good angels that you're not going to be
fucking
fighting.
godlight.
Yeah.
Try to
About
resist
thunder?
it.
What about Thunder?
Thunder?
I don't know.
Is that technically elemental? No.
No.
Thunder is considered elemental, I
Is
think.
it?
Sonic damage.
I think Thunder is in Absorb Elements,
Gotta go
right?
fast.
Oh.
There
I have
are
dragon
there are
elemental.
46 creatures resistant.
Shadows and Chav force damage laughs at you.
Yeah, 2 creatures immune to it and nobody resistant.
Yeah.
Force damage is just magical bludgeoning damage.
It really is.
Force is the
Except
best.
magical bludgeoning is in fact the best damage type.
I mean,
Why?
where
Can't
do you
break a
get
rope with
magical force?
You cannot break a rope.
Where do you get magical force?
Magical bludgeoning,
Or magical bludgeoning?
erupting earth. It does bludgeoning damage, but it's a spell.
Mm.
Or how about a magic club?
I mean that too.
Yeah, like,
Uh,
I was like, why is
Fucking
this so
talking about
good?
spells.
Yeah.
Shit!
There's
Or
something.
Soleil.
Shillelagh.
Yeah,
That's-
magical
That
bludgeoning.
was not how
Yeah,
you
do
pronounce
you
that.
want
Shillelagh. It is.
It's
Um,
the only way to say
There's
Fucking
something
somebody
like
from
60
Louisiana trying to say
creatures
that, fuck.
Oh, get
that
Bayless
take
in on here
reduced
with this
damage
fucking
from
southern accent and say Shillelagh.
thunder. Helmtar and Scaladar are the only creatures immune to force damage.
Wasn't that
That's the
that
thing we
light-
fought in. Yep. The
Scaladar, the Trobrians, Metal Scorpions. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the lightning scorpion. Yeah.
Yep.
The
Lightning
things
Scorpions.
from Borderlands too. Those
I-
scorpions that always go around.
I didn't get far in Borderlands 2. I accidentally deleted the game and didn't care about it.
Wow.
Whoops.
How do you accidentally delete a game?
I was just clearing shit off my desktop and then I just noticed Borderlands 2 was gone. I was like,
The
oh.
whole file is on there.
It was,
You
it
put
was
the
pirated.
entire game on your desktop.
It was pirated, like whatever.
Mike, don't admit to a crime on national TV.
National TV.
National
Tim says he has a tin of sweet tea mix coming tomorrow.
Oh my god.
Isn't that literally just tea and sugar?
Sweet Tay.
Dude, I've been looking for the clip of fucking Bill Engvall doing his Sweet Tay skit for so fucking long and I can't find it.
Oh, God.
It's so fucking funny and I can't find it anywhere.
So I thought I had more, but I'm out of questions.
Alright, cool.
I don't, chat here. Have a minute. Is there anything spell related that you want us to talk about? If not, save it
Or
for
combat
next time.
related. Just generally.
Rules.
Or just rules.
I want to kind of.
I mean, we have other topics we're gonna hit.
I want to group together rulings for like melee combat type things and conditions, and I feel like there's a lot of like leeway.
There's
with
some
of the
fiddly
rules
shit
there.
in conditions.
If you're gonna do conditions, you need to put up the
Slam
slam
dunk
dunk
ogre.
ogre, yeah.
Yeah.
Duh.
Absolutely have
Duh.
to slam dunk ogre.
You guys really like Slam Dunk Ogre, and I really like the unconscious.
No, slam dunk ogre.
No, it's that
Slam dunk
fucking.
ogre, man.
No, it's that
Slam dunk
fucking
ogre.
dwarf, just like.
No, slam dunk
Yeah.
ogre.
It's great.
Like that dwarf could just be a fucking like.
No, but
Fucking
he's
drunk
so
off his ass.
tragic looking.
No, he's
Isn't
just
the like blinded one just like a gnome with a blindfold on?
What screen is it? No, what screen? I want to pull up the.
I don't know.
Fuck. This one?
Hang on, I'm gonna throw slam.
Oh, it's
dunk.
this one.
I'm gonna throw slam dunk ogre onto the stream
Hell yeah.
because everyone has to see it.
Shit, this is really big.
Oh god, this is the wrong.
You can do it, Ian.
Every time I search for anything that's in the player's handbook, Rick and Morty comes up because Rick and Morty replicated like half of
Oh
the
my god,
PHP
screens are
text.
unwieldy.
For some goddamn
Also, he
reason.
turned off the thing, so now I can't shit. Alright, cool. I love it.
You can do it, Steph.
No.
Eh,
I don't believe in you.
He's dragging. He's dragging the thing.
did it work? Give me a slam dunk ogre. Copy image.
This
Paste.
is probably the most useful screen you can get as a DM, and the art in front of it is absolutely terrible, and I hate it.
I have to save the image. That's stupid.
Nothing comes close to beating the Cricker Panther.
Yeah, like if you gave the insides of this
Slam
screen to
dunk
the Cricker
ogre.
Panther screen, like the outside of that
Yeah, slam dunk ogre.
This is the best art in the entire player's handbook. Slam
Oh,
dunk
wait.
ogre.
one.
Why is the ogre 2 feet off the ground?
The
too
screen
big
got
for
it
that.
wrong.
What?
Yeah.
It has it on next to exhaustion.
I mean,
He's fucking dead.
you realize exhaustion's right under unconscious, right?
Huh?
That's
He's
No,
right.
but
fucking
it's
dead.
Dude, I drank way too much for you to be laughing at things I say.
Here,
can't handle it.
I guess I'll add your
Wait,
shitty unconscious
Look at
guy.
he's dead.
Looks pretty unconscious to me.
I love that art way more
Yeah.
than Slam Dunk Ogre.
Nah, slam dunk ogre all day.
Here, I'm
Look
gonna
at him.
put unconscious guy on your face, Steph.
Wrecked.
Yeah,
Play
there.
that song that they play
Unconscious guy.
when they do Wrecked. I don't know how it goes.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking
I don't know
about.
what that is.
Slam dunk ogre is the best
GTA.
art in the entire. Wasted?
Oh, Wasted, not Wrecked. Jesus. Alright, we're
Damn,
done here.
Steph. God.
Alright,
Why
so
did Twitch chat just say welcome to the chat room? Like, I just see chat up above it and it says welcome to the chat room.
I don't know why it resets sometimes. It's fucking weird.
That's so weird.
So yeah, next week is probably going to be combat and
Weapons and
conditions
conditions and all that good
um,
garbage.
I have a
Slam
few.
dunk ogres.
And slam
yeah.
dunk ogres.
I have a few things about variant rules when building a character as well. So if we run out of things for combat, we can stick that in there. Or we can just stalk Jeremy Cropper's tweets and just fucking go through those.
I don't know
Oh,
if that's
we
a
can-
last call, but that's definitely content I want to make.
No, that's last call's content because it's fucking stupid. Xanathar rules was gonna be another
Yep.
one.
There's a lot of rules in Xanathar that a lot of people don't know about.
Like
Tying
the long rest
knots.
rule.
Like the long rest rule,
Yeah.
and also tying knots, sleeping in armor, and cobbler's
Oh, God,
tools
sleeping in armor.
that Luke used in Odyssey.
Yeah, it was cool.
Why are you making shoes?
He actually didn't, so we reflavored them from cobbler's tools to farrier's tools because half the party has hooves.
He's also a centaur,
Even though
so it
I don't
makes
know
more
how that
sense.
works.
Seriously,
How do you-
fucking horseshoes.
How do you horseshoe yourself?
Not only that, like you're supposed to be able to like with 8 hours of work, you can make a secret compartment. Like
There's
you just
no-
dig a hole inside of your like.
There's
Like your
no
hose
way
or
you
what?
can do it to yourself.
How the fuck do you put
no
horseshoes
way.
on yourself?
Very carefully.
No.
No,
Put
you
'em on
just
the gr-
no. You put it on the ground with nails sticking up. And you just stomp it.
Stop!
No, you don't just stomp it. You gotta climb up a little bit and then jump onto them.
Oh god. Oh, drop kick centaur like Bayless did that one night. You just drop kick your own fucking horseshoes.
Dropkick centaur.
Oh my god.
The fuck?
So yeah, that we might be able to get another like last call or two out of this, and you guys seem to like it. So
I'm just like imagining stupid shit, like someone throwing a centaur at someone. Like,
What? Why?
I
Dropkick
don't know.
centaur.
drop kick centaur.
Okay, but why throwing a centaur?
Like you don't imagine a horse in any other situation other than it standing upright. Like you don't imagine a horse being flung at someone and then like it curving and then the human half curving a different way, his arms flailing some other way.
What's
seen
wrong with you?
I've seen people get tackled by jumping horses, so I can imagine a drop kicking one.
A cobbler's guide to the karma.
Karma Sutra.
Oh god, stop. No, you
Tim,
did-
you should feel
Yeah,
bad.
you lose a nat 20. Like whoever gave
Ouch!
you
I was
one.
gonna say inspiration.
Fight me, bitch.
Wow.
Jay Miller into the monthly giveaway. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right. Fuck you guys. Fuck you too, bitch. I think that's it. Join us next Wednesday for more of this horseshit.
More
It'll
of this
probably be the
horseshit.
four of us again.
Probably.
Saturday at 4 p.m. we play Odyssey Dragon Lords.
Odyssey of the Dragon Lords.
I'm like 3 shots in.
On Sunday, so am I. On Sunday, we play Curse of Strahd, 1 p.m. EST. And then on Thursday and Friday, I do DM prep at 7 p.m. Thursday is Curse of Strahd. Friday is Odyssey of the Dragon Lords.
Players, stay away from there. I know you
I've
know
told
that
them so
already.
many times that
Okay.
we are, yeah.
But for everyone else,
Please
Wait a
join.
minute. Wait
What?
a minute.
Uh-oh.
Steph needed to say something.
Oh, yeah.
what?
What was the pending title of this this stream?
The roll of rules.
The Roll of Rules.
No.
Do it!
No.
Do it!
No, you
F-
can't force that. Jesus, it needs to happen naturally. Like, welcome to
No.
the gifted sub.
No, you have to do it. You gotta
You have
look
to
it up.
do
Do it. Go now. Do it. Go!
Don't pressure me.
Just do it!
Thanks, Shia. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Check out our other streams. We stream 5 nights a week: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I guess technically on, I guess Sunday it's not really night
It
because
is,
we
yeah.
start at 1 p.m. But
That's
yeah,
basically night.
yeah, whatever.
5
So
nights a week, we're here for you during quarantine when there's nothing else to do.
yeah, check out our Discord, our Twitch, our Twitter, our YouTube, all of those things, wherever the hell you aren't right now.
Our Friendster.
Friendster, that one. MySpace, Napster.
And check out our Snapchat at Swole Troll.
LimeWire.
Oh god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, can you? You're back in the gym now. Can you just like make that a thing?
Swole Troll.
What?
Swole Troll.
Oh,
Snapchat.
yeah, I
He
guess
forgot
they-
the password.
Just make sure you spell it
Let's
right.
make a new one.
Yeah, make a new one that's actually spelled right.
He made one months ago, or it might have been like over a year ago at this point. He sent me one Snapchat of him working out at the gym, and then I got nothing. I'm like, God damn it.
Andy says Sunday is our matinee.
Sundays are matinee.
That's fantastic. But yes, thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.